It's about 6:20 a.m. on Wednesday the 15th of October. I'm just heading up, a couple of minutes ride from my hometown in Bath. It's my local railway station, Holdfield Park. I'm getting a train down to Taunton, and then I'm going to ride from Taunton station across to Bratton Fleming, where I've got a church for the night to stay in. I'm champing. Well, it's just gone 10 past 8. I've just got my train down from Holdfield Park in Bath to Taunton. I'm heading that way about 48 miles up onto Exmoor. Excellent. Within about a quarter of a mile, my Garmin GPS track has routed me onto some back streets. In less than 3/4 of a mile, riding through the park alongside the River Tone. We're going to be following the River Tone for a few miles, and then we make our way up to Dulverton at the foot of Exmoor, which will probably be my lunch stop. And then after Dulverton, that's where the Land Girls was filmed. It gets really hilly after that. This afternoon looks like it's going to be quite spectacular. I've street viewed some of the routes and it looks spectacular, it really does. I love this, just going through these gaps in the hedges, not knowing exactly what you're heading for. Vaguely heading left along this defined track by the look of it to another gate. This is great. Today's only about 47 miles and I'm starting quite early, so you can gather I'm in no rush whatsoever. I would like to get to the church before 5 p.m, ideally about 4 p.m. I've got the church to myself from 4 p.m. Now it looks like I'm on an old railway. Well, definitely a hardcore path anyway. Hedges and Edges, this is called. It's clearly a wildlife project on the banks of the River Tone. This is absolutely fantastic. The temperature's definitely dropping. There's a nip in the air. I've got several layers on, including arm warmers. I've got gloves if I need them, and a woolly hat. I was going to bring leg warmers and I thought no, that's probably a bit of overkill. But it won't be long before I go into longs. I've got plenty of warm clothes for tonight because I'm staying in a church which is not heated and it's 800 feet above sea level. And here we are, well away from Taunton, can't hear any traffic, and we're heading north-westish up towards Exmoor. I'm about 14 miles in, and I've got to say, bits of this ride are quite hard actually. I'm following Sustrand's route, NCN number 3, that's the Bath down to Padstow route. I didn't deliberately intentionally do that, but the computer that I used has just clearly decided that's the best way for me to get to my destination tonight. Wow, look at that bird of prey just going off. It's got some nesting material. Because I had it in my head that this afternoon up on Exmoor was going to be quite hilly, I mistakenly thought this was going to be quite flat. The profile seems to suggest it, but it's actually quite lumpy actually. It's the sort of hills that take their toll on you after a while. They just keep coming at you. I'm not complaining, it's really nice. Clay Hanger, some great names around here. But anyone who's ridden the Route 3 will know this. This is a perfect example. You go up a bit and then you go down a bit and then it's straight up again. That roller coaster effect can be quite tiring after a while. I'll definitely be stopping at Dulverton to pick up some supplies and have my lunch, I think. Just prepare myself for the big ascent up on the plateau. There's a village shop at Bratton Fleming, not far from the church. and I googled it and it says it's open every day until 6 p.m. So I'm hoping to get a bottle of wine there, or maybe some beer or some cider, depending on how I feel. Something nice about having a bottle of wine in a church. It just seems appropriate, really. I'm really enjoying this section of the route. It's on very, very minor roads. I'm following Sustrans route number 3. I've just passed through a village called Ninehead, not to be confused with Minehead. It's spelled N-Y-N-E head. But I'm just dropping down off that, and look at this lovely sunken road, this sunken lane. Absolutely fantastic. The West Country's got so many of these. I'd imagine we're about at least 5 feet below the deepest of the tree roots. They look absolutely fantastic this time of year. Greens turning into yellows and browns, the ivies, the ferns coming out. Now about 17 miles into the ride, see there's these tall hedgerows in this little corridor in between hills. So we're now running westwards. So as I remember it, we go along westwards and then take a left-hand turn, basically start heading northish, northwestish, up over Exmoor. But this is a perfect example of why I like getting off the beaten track a little bit. I think it comes from my days being a postman, where you had to have a good working knowledge of the locality. But all those names up there: Clayhanger, Hockworthy, Bampton, South Helly, North Helly, Vencross, Ashbrittle, Strawley. I just love seeing that, places that I just don't recognise. All I can hear is the wind blowing through the leaves in the trees and bird song. As well as the trees and the hedgerows turning yellow, brownish. Passing over a lot of nuts on the ground. Good news for squirrels, isn't it? Stashing them up, caching them ready for the winter. And there's holly here, look. There's the blue signpost with the white bicycle and the red number on. NCN, National Cycle Network, Sustrans route number 3. So we're turning left towards Dulverton, 4 miles, and I'm currently coming up to 24, so that'll be well over halfway. That'd be a good spot for lunch, I think. Here we are, the boundary sign for Dulverton. Welcome to Exmoor, boundary of Exmoor National Park. We're on a slightly raised road just down there. It's a fast flowing river. I'm not sure which one, maybe the Ex, I just don't know. I'm sure all will be revealed when we get to Dulverton. It's 12:15. I'm at Dulverton just before the climbing starts. As I came in, my Garmin was showing me a zigzag, so clearly going up some hairpins up that way towards the coast. I came into Dulverton and I was kind of looking for a bus shot, and as I came to, I thought, I don't think many people use a bus around there. They've all got kind of Range Rovers, probably Porsches as well. So I headed for the church. There's a seat in there in the bell tower. So I'm just going to clean my hands a little bit. Had to get rid of some cow dung off my bike earlier on when I did some off-road, so I need to disinfect my hands. Can have some lunch here, stock up on energy, and then I'll be hitting the road, I think, no later than 1 p.m. And it's coming up to 27.75 miles. I think that's just says 20 miles to go as I pass that S-bend. So back about half a mile, just over 20 miles to Bratton Fleming. So if I leave at 1 p.m, that gives me like 3 hours, isn't it, to get myself across there. Just a little bit about the equipment I'm on. I'm on my touring bike, my trusty giant Tough Road SLR2. I've got 2 rear panniers on. Caradice, it's the Cara Dry range, really large capacity, I can't remember what they are. And they've got the rear pockets on for things like tools, head torches, that sort of thing, spare in the tubes. If I do a youth hostel overnight or a travel lodge overnight, I can get away with bringing the front panniers and just putting them on the back. But tonight I need sleeping bag, pillow, really warm clothes. You get the idea. Plus the fact when I get there, I want the capacity to maybe get a bottle of wine or a few cans of beer. Meanwhile, I'm just having my lunch in here, out of the wind, in my weatherproof top. Just had my lunch up on that hillside. Lovely smell of wood smoke drifting around Tar Step 6, Exford 10, Lady Street, B3223 Linton. The road I'm heading back out on, Bampton towards Taunton, Exeter. How nice is this? Still don't know what the river is, it's probably the Ex bridge up into the town. Nice little recreation area there, look. So we're heading back out of town the way I came in, going along there, and then it's basically hairpin and right up over that onto the plateau. Here we are, straight after lunch. Our right hand turn. Sign posted Hawkridge, Old Leeds End. And my Garmin is suggesting we bear round to the left, then a right angle turn to the right, and then up that way. That was the steepest bit. And there's a bend round to the right here. Signposted Hawkridge. Following our familiar friend now, Sustrans route number 3. South Moulton 13. We're going back that way tomorrow, so you can see after the initial cliff face out of Dulverton, it just carries on now steadily like this for a while. This looks like it's levelling off, but you never want to assume that because sometimes it levels off for a bit, then you see it continuing upwards. I've got an elevation chart on here, can't be bothered to look at it. I gauge it mentally. If I'm getting out of breath, it's really hard, I'll simply get off, give myself a breather, then start again. I'm not adverse to pushing it up sometimes. What? We're certainly up on a contour. Whether we stay at this, go down a bit, it looks like we may be heading over that way towards slightly higher elevation. Meantime, it's just good to get my breath back here actually. When I was putting this route together to the Champing Church, I did street view some of it to see is it a really main busy road across Exmoor or is it quieter. And there's one bit towards our destination before we drop down off Exmoor that looks really narrow, almost like a farm track with a grass verge in the middle. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, oh I can see, yeah, looks like we're going up there. So we've had a bit of a respite from the gradient, then we're going to pop down round the corner and I can see the dual hedgerow leading up there. I've just stopped to let a car go by, this passing place, that's looking back. Can't see Dulverton. It's not even 2 PM yet and it's about 19 miles to go, so I'm okay for time. I'm up on this contour, I'm pretty sure I've got more to go. But how's this for autumnal scene? All the brown leaves falling, moss all around the embankment and the tree, ferns coming up, just the colours of autumn everywhere. So I've just turned right here, that road carries on along there. I'm heading towards, well, Barnstable in effect, so if you imagine Linton, Lynmouth on the coast, and halfway between Linton and Lynmouth and Barnstable is where I'm heading, Bratton Fleming equidistant. So my instinct says the sea's over there. That feels like north from here. I'm heading westwards here, but who knows. I'm hoping I'll see the sea when I get up quite high up on the plateau. I don't think I'm quite there yet. It's not bad, it's gone up in stages. It gives you a chance to recuperate really and get your breath back. Plus I've got plenty of time so I can just stop and stare at beautiful locations like this. Well, I've just gone over Cattle Grid, so I'm on the moorlands now. It's lovely up here actually. So I'm on the very southern edge of the escarpment. I'm just going along the edge of Exmoor. So down to my south is the lower ground. Exmoor carries on that way north, that's where the sea would be over there. So I'm not sure if we're going to see it at all, see the sea, because it's over that way quite a while. This is lovely. I've just checked my phone, it's 2:45 and I've got 17 miles to do, so I'm ample time. Doesn't really get dark much for about 6:45, maybe a bit earlier tonight. Let me just show you the view I'm looking at. The road goes ever on, as Tolkien would say. So that's the main body of Exmoor over there. We're just on the southern slopes of it. You can almost see here, that's looking down towards, well, looking down towards Dartmoor actually, over that way. So we're just running along the southern edge of the escarpment. That's the main body of it over there, and beyond that would be the sea, looking north up towards South Wales. It's pretty bleak up here on an October afternoon. Imagine what it's like up here in wild driving rain or sub-zero temperatures, snow and ice. When I got to the top of the climb out of Dolverton, once I realised I was most of the way up, I just put this blue weatherproof top on. It's a light rain shower, it's more of a windbreaker really, and that's exactly what I put it on for, to protect myself from the wind. It's definitely a couple of degrees cooler up here. I've now got on so many layers. I've got a base layer, I've got a long sleeve cycling top, I've got the blue windproof, and I've got a nylon gilet over that, so my torso's got 4 layers on. It's lovely and toasty warm. Oh, this is just lovely. Some cattle over there. This is the way we're heading. Looking up north, and that's the way I've just come back towards Dolverton that way. We're heading this way vaguely towards Barnstable, but we don't go that far. So as the coast goes, as the north coast goes along, it bends down, doesn't it? Starts to form Cornwall, North Devon and Cornwall. We may see the sea there, I just don't know. It's been so long since I've been along here. So the arrangement is with this church, it's open all day to the public, and then from 4 PM onwards I've got it, I can lock it. So there's no point getting there much for about 4 o'clock, because I may have other people there as I'm trying to get changed and organised. I don't really want that. So the plan is to amble along here, stop and film a lot without getting cold, and then drop down to the village, find the shop, see if I can get myself a bottle of wine or maybe some beer and some cider. Fancy wine tonight actually. Now I understand there are wine glasses at the church for a nice cosy evening once the sun drops. Some hot food, some wine, and wrap up in some warm clothes. Then I'll wander around the churchyard in the dark. I love that with the torch. It's so peaceful up here. I can just hear a little bit of wind in my ear. You know that sound you get from seashells as it swirls around? I'm just loving this, I really am. See if I can zoom in, just see that road going on, snaking in the distance. A few cars up here, a couple of cyclists going the other way. Apart from that, it just feels like I've got the whole place to myself. just done a major direction change, so that's where I've been coming, along the edge of the escarpment. I just did a very sharp right hand turn, and now I'm actually heading due north, right into the heart of it. This really does look bleak up here. Got a couple of cars parked here, so pull in. Whenever I stop, I do start chilling down, even with this blue top on. I did wonder if it'd be too hot, but it's just about right. Keeps me warm moving, and I've got a couple of minutes when I stop before I then start cooling down. Oh yeah, right. Wow, old Triumph Herald. Open top as well. Got about 14 miles to my destination. I do know I drop off Exmoor as we approach, halfway down in elevation, then we climb back up, not quite as high, but to 800 feet. So I'm guessing that's going to be around about 4 miles to go. So I've got another 10 miles up here of this. So I'm just making the most of every single yard. Absolutely loving this. Gosh, what a contrast. Hedged farm fields and just bleakness that way, moors. Another direction change, so we were going north that way, then we turned left, back west again. Now we're at this crossroads and we're going north again. You can see the compass arrow. So we're kind of zigzagging up there, going up in almost like a staircase, and it's 12 miles to go. Just as I thought I was starting to descend, turned off right, and I'm climbing again. It's getting quite misty up here. Looking down that way, oh, it's disappeared now, but just where the mist came down, you could see the very far outline of Dartmoor, the hills. But looking that way now, I think I can see the sea kind of heading over that way, like tidal inlets. That would be round about Barnstable, wouldn't it? Bude, that sort of way. On a nice day, I bet that's probably shimmering over there. But today it's very atmospheric up here. I've just been passed by a postal van going that way, and then that motorcycle just passed me coming down this way. Up on this summit, you can probably see it's got very misty, whereas I could see what I thought was the bay before, just covered in mist. It's drifting in. I'm guessing it's coming in off the coast. Very atmospheric up here. We're off to high moorland now. It feels like we're gradually dropping in elevation. Get these occasional really nice stretches where there's moss covered walls, trees, lots of leaves everywhere. That lovely autumn colour, look at it curving around there. It's less than 10 miles to go now, 9.6. I used to find that really lifted my spirits when I did Audaxes. No matter what distance I did, when you get below 10 miles it goes down in decimal fractions. As you home in to home, to the finish, your destination, whatever, the end of the ride. And that's what's happening now. It's suddenly got very misty up here. It's only just gone 3 PM. Can you see how bleak it looks? I think this is sea mist coming in. It's very atmospheric, but it's made the temperature drop by a few degrees. Got all my lights on. Luckily not too much traffic. But my action camera I'm filming on, my chest mounted camera, is the Osmo Action 2. And it has problems with cold temperatures in the winter. It quite often will turn itself off if the temperature drops too much, and it did that back there. So my camera thinks it's winter. Because I'm wearing about 4 layers, I just put it underneath 3, and my body heat, the temperature underneath my garments, is enough to warm it up. Then I'll get it back out and film it. It's shut down a couple of times this afternoon. Gosh, look how it really is atmospheric up here. I'm quite looking forward to getting to church now. I really need to get into warmer clothes and put the kettle on basically. Got some hot food for tonight. When you get to the church, they don't expect you to sleep on the floor. They they make it quite cosy with lights and lanterns. They give you some bedding and some blankets. So I'll show you when we get there. It's very cosy and welcoming. But I will need to get out these damp cycling clothes quite quick. Oh, this is just magic up here. It really is nice. I did underestimate the clothes today. I should have worn warmer clothes out, but I just didn't want to overheat going up out of the Exe Valley onto Exmoor. But yeah, I just got it wrong today. But it always helps if you've got a few layers to add on to make up for my mistake. Every time I think we're going to drop down, we seem to go back over another rise. 6.7 miles to go, so it's actually not that far. 5.3 miles to go, still up on high ground. I can see there's a left-hand turn coming. Looks like we're going to follow that hedgerow along there. This last half an hour or so has been really atmospheric. I've loved this. Ah, there we are, there's the road. Oh, I thought it was a turning, it's not, it's just our road bending round, S-bending. When you're a bit cold, when I'm a bit cold, I can just frame my emotions into welcoming a hot, sweaty uphill, thinking, great, it's warming me up. The road's turned 90 degrees and it does look like I'm heading down that coastal strip. You can see it at a lower altitude, all the hedges and strips of the field. Can't see the coast anymore. Just see lots of mist. Probably break through sunshine in a minute. It'd be a lovely afternoon. This is absolutely fantastic. Gosh, losing a lot of altitude here. I rode this West Country way with my friend Andy, the guy I actually bought the caribou off actually, and we rode that, probably we were in our 30s, you know, peak fitness, and we saw the Sustrans map and it sort of said strenuous, challenging. We thought, we're experienced cyclists, that doesn't apply to us. It nearly killed us. It really, really was strenuous. Oh yeah, I can see the bay in the far distance. It looks like you're looking up at the sea from here because you're going down the road angle. Something lovely about this, homing in on your location. Passing through another one of these autumnal tunnels of trees. The stone walls there, dry stone walls with all the moss. I'd really psyched myself up for a hard afternoon and a relatively easy morning, and it's been exactly the opposite. This morning was actually quite hard, and this afternoon, once I got up onto the plateau, it's actually been quite easy. A lot of the roads have been like this, wind's been behind me, made good progress. Just shows, doesn't it, no matter how experienced you are, you look at a map, you make assumptions and they're completely wrong. Oh, this is lovely. Definitely feel like you've dropped a couple of 100 feet here. Oh, I just can't get enough of this. I love this. And the feeling of you approaching your destination as well. I'm really looking forward to the champing as well. Just come down this road, this little 5-way junction, and look, Bratton Fleming. That's route number 3. Doesn't say how many miles, Barnstable 10. Well, I know how many miles it is because a minute ago it's 3.4. Yeah, 3.4 miles to go. I'm dropping down very fast in this steeply wooded valley. See the view of it. And I think that's where I'm heading up there. So I know Bratton Fleming's at 800 feet. I think we've lost a good 500 or 600 feet. I always suspected we dropped down, they climbed up at the end, so I think that's going to be up through there, somewhere up there. The climb up out of that wooded valley was really brutal. I walked a bit of it, I just couldn't ride it. And then it brings you out of this road, and we're literally coming up to the boundary of the village, I think. Next habitation coming up should be Bratton Fleming. I saw a sign back at that crossroads, 1 mile. And my Garmin is saying it's 0.9 to the church. I want to go and find the shop first. And it's about 11 minutes past 4, I just checked. Gosh, get really good views of the bay here actually, and the coast going round the North Devon coast. Wow, it's pretty impressive. It looks like we're dropping down into a dip. So Bratton Fleming's going to be down in the dip, I'm guessing. There's some speed limit signs coming up. Is this Bratton Fleming? It must be. Yes. Arrive. So just need to find the village store first. There's 2 Baptist chapels there. I'm dropping down towards the church, but I don't want to overshoot the stores, so I'm taking it quite cautiously. I don't really want to have to wheel my bike all the way back up. Oh. I think this might be a village store, yes. So there's the village stores, like an old prefab, next to Millennium Green. And then the church is just over there. I can see the tower from here, so I'm going to go up that one-way street there. Tea room there as well. I bet that's thriving on a nice sunny day. So village hall, toilets, Station Road. I'll street view this so I know where the church is. It's to my left. Here we are, St Peter's Anglican Methodist Church. Right opposite the village hall there. It is quite a stunning location, set down in this little fold, surrounded by hills. That's my Garmin telling me I've arrived. It's a cheesy little jingle. Seat outside. Might pop out here tonight with a glass of wine. Porch. Church open. And here we are. My accommodation for the night. Do you know, it actually feels quite warm in here, so I'm going to quickly shut the door. It's just gone 5:15. This is my accommodation for tonight. St Peter's Church at Bratton Fleming, just on the edge of Exmoor. Got here about an hour ago. It's the classic design, west bell tower, south porch, nave, chancel and east. I won't go into details about all the security stuff, but they let you know when you book it. Here's the key I've got to lock myself in. Notices round here as well, letting people know not to disturb me. When you book, you get an email and there'll be an attachment with all what you need to know, how to gain access and what you need to bring and everything. But I also got a text yesterday from Ron and Marion, who live just over the road, saying, message us when you get here and we'll wander over and tell you where everything is. So they let you bring your bike in. Obviously, if it's muddy and all that, I'll probably leave it in the porch. And I've turned some lights on. I'll probably turn them off later on because they give you all these really nice battery-operated candles, fake candles. It just makes it really evocative after dark. So they've made the bed up for me in the chancel, which I was hoping they would do. When I looked at the website, some people sleep here and other people sleep out in the annex. I'm fine with churches. I love sleeping in churches. And the chancel's my favourite part of a church. So this suits me perfectly. Made up a bed, there's a blanket underneath, blanket above. Got my sleeping bag with an inner liner. They give you a hot water bottle, so I put a hot water bottle in there to warm it up. Tonight, I'll sit in this cosy chair, put a blanket over me. If I get cold, which I hope I won't, I'll put the hot water bottle under me, spread my stuff out, bait. And I'll just quickly show you around, really. A couple of nice things. I'll take you up to the balcony first of all. He said the bells go off every half hour, and so as not to disturb champers. They've got a pretty smart device. It's the ringing room. Oh, I meant to ask him what those were, actually, I forgot. He rung it a couple of times, they are quite loud. You just pull this down, hook it under there, and it'll stop the ringer going in from. I just need to release that in the morning. This is looking down. Wonderful roof, isn't it? As I said, I'll probably darken the church later on, play around with the lights to get it just how I like it. But those candles and lanterns just make it so warm feeling. The moment I opened the door, it felt warm in here, so I quickly closed it. Keep the heat in. And this is the annex. Disabled toilet, which is much bigger with a sink in. Unisex toilet in there. It's like a little lounge area. Some people choose to sleep in here. Not everybody's comfortable sleeping in churches. I get that. There's a heater there if I do get cold later on. Can pull the curtain, keep the heat in. I was hoping I wouldn't be in here, actually. And then it's probably the best equipped kitchen I've seen in a champion church since I've been doing this about 5 years now. Look at this. They always leave you the treats, wine glasses, sugar tea. He left me milk, squashes, bought my own food. Cooker, even got a sieve, kettles. It's just so well appointed, really. So I'm really, really looking forward to a good night's champing. As I say, I'll play around with the light switches later on as it darkens. Just get the church just how I like it. I'll probably have minimum electric lights on and maximum battery powered fake candles. Happy champing. Yeah, just a beautiful place. Oh, little chapel in there, is it maybe? Oh, look at all these poppies. Wow, that's similar to what my wife knits me. I had seen some photographs on the Wikipedia page for this church where they drape red poppies all over the arch by the porch and then down one of the walls. So I'm guessing that's what those are for. I'll see if I can find some pictures and put them on the screen now. That looked really impressive in the summer. Gosh, haunting pictures, aren't they? All the old rectors and vicars over the years. Behind the organ. Had some hot food. I've got a chocolate pudding in case I still feel hungry. Trying to get all the lanterns lit up. Put them in some good places. Wander around the churchyard with one of those at midnight. Things like this, it just makes this area just so much nicer. See what I mean? Up here, Can you see with all those artificial candles lit up, how it just makes this look so nice. Got the chancel light on, the rest of the church is dimmed. This just looks really, really nice. It's nice knowing my hot water bottle's in there, warming my bed up. I'll probably make another one just before I go to bed so I can put my feet on that. At the moment I'm very, very warm. Having just had a meal, I'll have a wander around the churchyard in a bit. I'm just going to plonk myself down there for half an hour or so and have a glass of wine. I bought myself a bottle of Prosecco at the village stores. I sat and ate my meal at the table in the annex back there. I noticed they got some heaters, some electric heaters, and I thought, oh, if I get cold I'll put those on. I was really, really warm in there. As I said earlier on when I first came in the church, it just feels warm actually. I mean, there are electric heaters if I really need them, but part of why I like champing is I'm supporting a cause I feel quite strongly about. You know, some of my money's going towards preserving these churches. It's a charity after all, it's a fundraising exercise, so I don't want to cause them any more expenses than really necessary. And as I said, it's not really that cold. Hot water bottle in there, blankets there, got my coat on. I'm probably going to have to take this off shortly. I've just partially lit the chancel with the mains light, but it's mostly just these candle lights, the artificial candle lights. I've got a hot water bottle in my bed, warming it up. Just before I go to bed, I'll refill that up with more hot water, so I've got something to put my feet on during the night. Got a glass of Prosecco here. I'm just going to sit here for a while, just really, really enjoy the moment. That was quite a tough day at times today actually. The first half of the ride was much harder than I thought it would be. I was kind of preparing myself for a hard afternoon, and as I said earlier on, once I actually climbed out of Dulverton, got up onto Exmoor, it was remarkably easy. Made really good progress. It's just wonderful here, it really, really is. It's about 9:15 PM now, and I've sat outside for about an hour on that seat just with my bottle of wine. I had a lovely evening here, just sat here just chilling out and sat outside for a while. Came inside when I started to get a little bit chilly. I thought it was raining a few times because I saw these spots coming down, you know, from my head torch, and it wasn't, it was just midges. So yeah, go and boil the kettle, get a hot water bowl, and I think in about 5 minutes time I'll be hitting the hay. And I've set the alarm for 6 AM in the morning. Ideally I'd like to be on the road by 8 AM. Okay, it's about 9:20 now, and that's actually quite a late night for me. I've always been an early riser, but an early go to bedder. And so I've turned everything off here, apart from that one light out there. I'll go back to the light board and do that now. And I've just put a hot water bottle in. I've got 4 blankets on the top, so I should be warm enough tonight. And I also bought a heater around from the annex, just in case I get cold during the night. You know, if I wake up cold, I'll put that on, but I don't really want to if I don't have to. So I'm just walking to the back of the church now. I've turned all the battery lights off, and I'm making my way to the back of the church just to turn that one electrical light off in the chancel. Can't remember which one it is now. Oh, that's it, pitch black. So I'll say good night. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Hello, good morning. It's about 6:10 now. Been up about 10 minutes. I've got a cup of coffee. Sat in the lounge area. Just starting to think about all the things I need to do before I leave. But one of them is to reset the bell up in the tower. So I'm just going to do that now, to be honest. I'd quite like to hear it going. I've got this whole bell note. I showed you this last night. So he just released that. Oh, there, gosh. I just made it ring then. So that will now ring every half hour, I think he said. I've just got to make sure I leave the place in the way I was asked to. So that was the first one. I don't want to get halfway back to Taunton and think, oh, I forgot one of them. Gosh, look at that food bank. That's really impressive, actually. I may leave my chocolate pudding here that I didn't have last night. Just my way of giving. When I see food banks, I try and leave something, even no matter how small it is, a bar of chocolate or something. I try to. Sat in here with a cup of coffee. I've turned the heater on just to give it a bit of warmth, actually. Last night, I wasn't cold at all. I got into bed just in a shirt and underpants and the hot water bottle. I did keep my woolly hat on all night because I think that's sometimes what gets me cold, is the heat escapes from my head, but it was fine. It never really got dark in here because you just had bits of grey light drifting in through the windows. You could see the darkness and then the shape of the window and all the crisscross slats. I've got an all-day breakfast. I just need to boil that in a bag, actually. I think I'm going to actually donate that chocolate pudding to their food bank. Just my way of giving back a little bit. I'm sort of doing all right in life. It's just sometimes good to give back. I try to give when I see food banks. I can't always do it because I don't always have food on me, but if I've got a bar of chocolate, I don't need it. Even just that, it's a good thing to do. Last night I spent probably the best part of an hour outside. I was trying to post something on Facebook and I noticed the signal was stronger out here, so I just came outside with my wine. So this is a church porch. Let's have some light. So there's a seat there, I just sat there, glass of wine, looking up at the views, high ground, looking eastwards. It's actually quite warm this morning, there's a little bit of breeze coming. I'm just sat outside on this seat, my second cup of coffee. I've just had an all day breakfast boiled in a bag. It's an army ration pack in effect. Just chilling out. I came and sat out here last night actually because I just wanted to, really. I was out here for about an hour and I had my head torch on, but I put it on the red setting so it just gives that glow. I was surprised a few people seem to walk through the churchyard back out that way. Looks like a popular dog walking route. I think I spooked a couple of young lads that goes through because I was drinking my wine, and when I raised it to my mouth I realised it was red looking, you know, because of the head torch. It probably looked like I was drinking blood. I think I spooked them, tried to calm them down a bit, just sort of said I'll stay there and just sat out here chilling out. I've just ate my breakfast outside. Excuse me. I just ate my breakfast outside here this morning just because I didn't want to smell the church out, and sometimes if you drop bits eaten out of a bag it'll go on the ground, not on the floor of the church. It was a lovely night's camping last night. I've been up about an hour. I'm going to try and be on the road for about 8 AM because I've got a train to catch at Taunton. I'm going to ride back slightly further today, but I think it's going to be easier. I'm not going to go up over Exmoor. I'm going to follow the flatter roads. Having said that, I will be heading east, and I think there's an easterly wind today. But I don't really want to be getting a train at rush hour if I can avoid it. As you can see, I've made the bed up. I've started packing up. Hopefully be on the road soon after 8 AM. Gosh, look at that beast of an organ. Gosh, look at all the pigmented pipes there. I wish I could play the organ, I really do. Can't think of anything nicer than going to a country church and playing some Bach or some Wagner about midnight. I've just unmuffled the bells. I was out in the churchyard and of course it rang 7 as I was eating my breakfast. and all these crows flew out the trees. That's quite spooky. Anyway, about another 50-55 minutes and I'll be on my way. That's east, isn't it? That way. The bells have literally just rung 8 AM, although they are running about 7 or 8 minutes late, so it's about 10 past, be about 15 by the time I leave. I need to leave the church now secure. Again, I won't go into details. I've signed the visitor's book and I'm going to go outside, fire my garments up, and then I'll speak to you just before we leave. But it's been absolutely fantastic. Just need to do a quick circuit round now to make sure I haven't left any lights on. That's it, I'm about to leave. It says 10 past 8 up there, so a little bit later than that, 8:15. I'm just firing my garments up and it will be 50 miles, I think. Okay, clock's saying about 5 past, it's probably about 10 past coming on 15. It's been a fantastic night. I'll speak to you on the road, but next stop, Taunton Station, 50 miles time. I'm on this lovely road and I'm making good progress. So when I left the church, the first 3/4 of a mile was uphill and I had to stop a couple of times just to get my breath back. And then once I crested the summit, it feels like I'm running along the edge of what I was yesterday, but I was higher up yesterday. Seemed to be coming down at quite good speed. I've down on 48 miles to go already, so it's not even 9 o'clock yet. So long may this continue, but I'm sure there will be a few little lumps later on. And as I said, it's an easterly wind as well, it's cold as well, so I'm going to be riding into that when I get down on low ground. But so far I'm making good progress, but this road is absolutely fantastic. Gradually downhill, so it's the pace is just easy. Well, you can now see I'm on the train. There's been a little bit of disruption on the railway, so I'll just briefly explain. I made really good time actually, really enjoyed the ride back. It was challenging at times, but much easier than I thought it may be. I got into Taunton with about 20 minutes to spare, so great, I can have my sandwich on the platform, and then the track in the direction I'm heading, going through Bridgewater, is damaged. It's going to be an overnight repair, they think. So what they're doing is diverting the Cardiff train via Westbury, which actually suits me quite well because there's a regular service between Westbury and Oldfield Barton every half hour. So it's been a fantastic overnight chat. Yesterday was quite hard ride up over Exmoor and it was quite cold as well, but getting to that church last night was absolutely fantastic. I loved it, especially just the champing and the hospitality and the welcome, the way it's all set up. Really enjoyed it. Today's been a pleasant ride back. That was a bit lumpy at times, but much easier than yesterday, much warmer as well, and the sun's coming out now as well, so I should be getting home around about the same time as I would have done if there hadn't been track disruption, but just in a different way. So if you got this far, thanks so much for watching.